The problem why I'm frustrated with this whole situation,
Ethan needs to find a way to, it's not bad to call Hasan out, but you need to have like a better, or he needs to just, you can't get frustrated like this. Remember, this is the game. Hasan wants you to be mad. He wants like, this is intentional. It's not by accident. This is by design. The goal is to never show what Ethan says, to always put him in the worst light possible, and then to just like invent truth for your audience to consume, or invent fact for them to consume, so that when they think back to Ethan, they don't actually think back to anything Ethan said, even though they think they are. They're actually thinking back to what Hasan told them he said, even though it's not true.
Hello. I'm here to address something that happened on Thursday's show. We were doing our post-election cope stream, and the subject of Israel had came up, and here is what was said about it. Let's take a look. Trump
is so pro-Israel, it's insane.
Not only is he pro-Israel,
him and Bibi,
sure.
like talk a lot, and Bibi's become a lot like Trump.
Yeah,
so.
Bibi's his guy. They're like homies. Bibi's celebrating last night.
Just the other day, Bibi fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about, and he fired him because they had a disagreement, and that's like so Trump coded.
Well, he was like a moderating voice in the war room.
Yeah.
And he got rid of him, or at least a more moderate voice. I don't know anything about the guy. Here we're talking about Yoav Galat.
Oh no! Or I'm sorry. I wouldn't just say that he's just like a voice. This is like this is the head of your defense ministry. This is like the guy. This is your head dude. Would this be the equivalent of like the commander-in-chief in the U.S.? Like, I know this is like your president is like the head of our military, but the your minister of defense, I believe, is like it's the head of your entire military for Israel. Not to say I don't know if he was a moderating voice on it. It's just funny to remember, like, yeah, this is like a guy that was just like in the war room. It's like this guy is the war room. Yeah.
Voice. I don't know anything about the guy. Here we're talking about Yoav Galat, who was a member of Netanyahu's war cabinet, who just yesterday was fired by Netanyahu because he wanted to end the war. And Netanyahu wants to continue the war. And
what do you think Democrats should do to win more cultural war-related stuff? We talked about this a bit on stream yesterday, but we'll work at it, okay? The DNC, I already gave some suggestions. The DNC needs to stop working with anti-democratic candidates, and they need to find more people that support the party. You have to have people that are supportive of your political party working with you on the media sphere. It can't be any more of this working with people that don't support your fucking candidate for president. That's wild. That can't happen anymore. I want the next 2 years, I hope, I'm working in the background. Or if you have DNC contacts, fucking email me as well. The more the merrier. They need to stop working with all those people immediately.
Therefore, he fired him. Once he was fired, people in Israel took to the streets and are protesting because as far right as Netanyahu's, war cabinet is.
Fuck. Okay, hold on. Last second. You guys are diverting me. What do you think of the allegations of election fraud? It did honestly seem really fishy. Trump overperformed a lot. To rig an election in the United States of America because of how decentralized our process is all but impossible. It's close to impossible to be. The amount of people that would have to be involved to rig even an entire county, unless it's like a county of like 4 people or something, right, is insurmountable. Let alone an entire state, let alone multiple states. There's just no shot. It's inconceivable. Well, I mean, it could happen, but you'd need very, very, very strong evidence. You'd need incredibly strong evidence in order to make that argument.
Because as far right as Netanyahu's, war cabinet is, he is literally a moderating voice in that cabinet and was the only one representing the people and pushing for the war to end. The problem with Yoav, which I don't even think Ela probably knew at the time because this war's been going on for so long, is that he's somewhat infamous for this quote here. He said on October 8th, there will be no electricity, no food, no fuel. We are fighting human animals.
Bro, some of these quotes are kind of bad. I do agree. A lot of them are taken out of context. And when I say out of context, what I mean is that like when you read the interview, it's obvious they're talking about Hamas, but South Africa and other bad actors in the media try to make it sound like they're talking about the entirety of the Palestinian people. I don't remember this quote in particular. I have to go back and check. But there are some of the quotes that are just like, this is not acceptable. You shouldn't be saying this. However, the idea of quote mining people in a country after the largest terrorist attack probably any individual country in the world has ever faced, and then meanwhile, like, Palestinians are allowed to do whatever with impunity, and the answer is, well, they've been occupied. Of course they have to rape some women in Israel at a party. That double standard is fucking insane. That is insane.
And we act accordingly. When he's talking about entering Gaza in the first phases of the war, now a lot of people look at this language and think that it's dehumanizing and genocidal, and I'm one of those people. I agree that this is a horrible thing to say, and I don't defend him, and I never would defend him, a statement like this, which I assume people who watch this show know and understand.
Why is his camera so blown out? Poor lighting, probably using a webcam.
Now, a year plus later, for whatever reason, this is the same guy who's advocating for the war to end in Israel. And Hila, looking over the news, sees that people are rioting, that people are upset, and that people who want the war to end are upset that he got fired. And that's basically all that happened. We're talking about the fact that he's the only person that wants to end the war. And I personally don't understand how that's not relevant.
What were the quotes after 9/11? In the USA, we were literally trying to ban Muslims from making mosques in New York City, my dude. After post 9/11 and seeing the American response to it was one of the first things that started to break me out of my conservative bubble. Because one of the proudest things that I felt as an American was the that, oh, like, it's so cool that we have so many religions and everything here, and like, even if I disagree with you, like, you know, I'll die for your right to defend it. And then seeing how Americans were acting after 9/11, where we started to like shit on our own Muslims, was like, also, I'm giving you a low conviction take, 10%, because I could be wrong on this. I'll reevaluate. I used to say American Muslims are super chill. We have like the best Muslims. Now I'm kind of wondering if, because I remember my time in Palestine, my time in Israel, I wonder if it's just European Muslims that are crazy. Because I saw somebody write a comment on Reddit where they were like, Muslims in Europe are crazier than Muslims in the Middle East. And I'm like, that might be true, actually. Because how do you have 2 million Arabs living in Israel that seem to be relatively chill? What's going on here? And what the fuck? What's happening there? I don't know, man. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Here from The Guardian, a left-leaning newspaper you guys all probably know. Here's a headline. Benjamin Netanyahu.
You haven't been to Palestine. You never went to Tulkarem, Jenin, Nablus, or Al Ram. What, I have to go to your cities? First of all, I'm never going to Jenin. Fuck you, okay? Unless I have a dude here and a much deeper tent. No, I'm never. That place was already too spooky. We did try to get into Nablus. We got thrown out twice. We didn't. I don't think we went to Al Ram or Tulkarem. But I mean, we went to. I remember the places now. We did go to Ramallah. We were in East Jerusalem a lot. We did go to there was a third city we went to. We went to Ramallah. We went to East Jerusalem. We kind of went to Haran, but it was just the H1 area, the Jewish area, so that doesn't really count as much. What's our third city? We might have just spent a lot of time trying to get into the Nablus area. We were in that area a lot, but.
Fires Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, triggering protests in Israel. Demonstration in Tel Aviv, widely seen by Israel's allies as a break on far-right elements of the Israeli government. Again, this isn't just my opinion. This is opinion that's held by internationally, that he is a moderating voice on the war cabinet, once again, advocating for the war to end, which is what I thought we all wanted. Here's another article from The Guardian. Yoav Gallant reportedly says Israeli army has nothing left to do in Gaza. The ousted defense minister also quoted as saying Netanyahu rejected peace deals against advice of his security officials. As you can see, I'm not saying any of this to defend him. What he said and what he's done should very well be investigated by the International Criminal Court, and if he's found, he should submit to an investigation. If he's found guilty, then charge him. But what I am saying
Also, real quick, because people are saying that Ethan is wrong about Yoav Gallant, and therefore everything Ethan is saying is not true. We're running into this issue again, this first order, second order thought. It doesn't really matter if Ethan is wrong. What matters is what Ethan would do when confronted with the correct information, right? So I think Ethan is saying that Yoav Gallant was a moderating voice, and people are saying, and then Hasan, or I think other people have attacked Ethan saying, oh, Ethan supports genocide. And then when Ethan comes out and says, well, actually, Yoav Gallant was a moderating voice, and somebody's like, oh, fuck, Hasan was right because Ethan is wrong about Yoav Gallant. But that's not true. They're not attacking the same claim. Ethan is claiming that Yoav Gallant was a good person, and that's why it's bad that he was fired. Hasan is claiming that Yoav Gallant was a bad person. The difference of agreement isn't what should be happening, whether it's genocide, it's whether or not Yoav Gallant was a bad person. Because I'm guessing that if you show Ethan evidence of like, oh, well, look, actually Yoav Gallant said we're going to destroy every single Palestinian family and kill all their children, then Ethan would probably say, oh, shit, okay, never mind. In that case, he was bad. He should be gone, right? That's the difference. It's the first order versus the second order thing.
Is that I think that while Hila misspoke and said he's a good guy, her intention was that, you know, this guy is trying to end the war. And I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page as that being a good thing.
I feel like the reason I brought it up was mainly to express the frustration with Bibi and him firing the one guy that was somewhat, you know, attempting at moderation. It wasn't really so much to say Gallant is a good guy. I shouldn't have used that word. That was a bad choice on my part, considering stuff that he has said that I was not even thinking of. Really coming from the concern.
See, like, this is cringe. It's cringe because, like, they're playing an unwinnable game. I'm identifying this more now, too. They're playing the game that you can't win. Because what's happening is there's an opinion right here. Are you genocidal? Are you genocidal or are you good? Okay, this is the game that's being played. Now, if you're over in like Camp Hasan, okay, and then this is like Ethan and Hila, right? Hasan's claim of them is that, oh, these guys up here, they are genocidal. And then what's happening is like a figure or a statement will pop up. We'll say it's this guy, the Minister of Defense, Yoav Gallant. And Ethan and Hila are saying, oh, we think it's sad that this guy was fired because we think this guy is a good voice. I'm using shorthand here, good, right? But if they were to find out that he was actually bad, my guess is that their opinion on him would change. But what Hasan is trying to do is he's trying to draw this connection where he has a disagreement over whether or not these people are good, this person is good or bad. They have a disagreement here, and Hasan is trying to signal to his fans, or other people are, the reason why Ethan and Hila are supporting this guy is because he's genocidal, right? This is not, it's not good logic. It's misleading, or it's a lie, really, a fucking lie.
Feeling of like, we have Trump in office, and Bibi just fired the guy that is opposing him. That's all I was trying to say, but I do understand that was not a good choice of words, and I would not have said that again. So I'm stepping away for a little while from being on camera and being on the podcast. It's too much, and it's not fair for everybody. And yeah.
So that's where our head was at when we said that. But now people like Hasan are going on their channels.
Do people really not have basic understanding of logic trees? Holy fuck. I feel like you explain the most basic shit that these readers like Hasan viewers don't understand. The problem is what they don't understand is they've already assumed that Ethan and Hila are genocide supporters. So they're just looking for evidence of that. And when Hasan is giving you like the path, then they're like, oh yeah, shit, he does support that guy. That is pro-genocide. That is pro-genocide, right? That's what they're starting with. They're not actually, they don't analyze the facts to come to the conclusion that Ethan is pro-genocide. They start with the conclusion that Ethan is pro-genocide because Hasan told them, and then Hasan gives them fake facts to support that, basically, right? The simulacrum, the Hasan method, whatever the fuck, right? Vosh would do the same thing to me.
And accusing us of supporting a war criminal. Anyway, here's what Hasan said this evening about the clip that sent everybody into a frenzy.
Crazy. I just hate how Ethan is brigading smaller content creators like the D program because he couldn't get to you. It's fucking gross how he keeps picking smaller content creators that are just getting by, and he is sitting on his golden throne. Is just straight up harassment. I know.
You are one of the worst types of people in the world. If you use the defense of I can't imagine how ashamed, how humiliated I would be ever using that as an excuse. Like, you have to be a person with no honor or integrity to attack somebody, and then when they hit you back, go, I'm a smaller grain, why didn't you hit me? It is cowardly behavior. It is absolutely cowardly behavior. You have no self-respect to function that way. It's disgusting and deplorable.
He's just...
I can't get over the fact that they keep fucking crying about me responding to these communities. Like, this is the biggest socialist podcast. They have like, they have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Second Thought has 2 million subscribers. When can I respond to these people? When is it warranted? Like, give me a fucking break.
He's just like aligning with all these fucking drama peddlers like Keem.
Notice how Ethan is going back and forth, also showing the clips from Hasan. Does Hasan ever do this with Ethan?
Star and shit in an effort to try and get me fucking banned is psychotic to me, you know? I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
What a fucking liar, dude. What a Weaselly little fucking liar. He's just straight up lying. He's just lying right now. In fact, this is a lie that he keeps saying, is that I'm somehow aligning myself with Keemstar. Once again, I'll show you. I went and fished out the original stories.
It's hard, but like really, truly, like the only thing you can do is like brigade against people like Hasan. It sucks. But again, like this is the rules that they're setting, right? People like Hasan, communists and Nazis, they don't play with the same set of rules when it comes to like fact or truth. And all they do is they lie. So you have to like, the only way to overcome it is with overwhelming brigading and force. You have to spam like, hey, this is a lie. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Post on their subreddits, post on their Twitters, post responses everywhere. Because the only way that these people can succeed is through lying. They have to, right? And if he's allowed to lie with impunity, and then anytime you attack them, Hasan did an hour segment today talking about your N-word takes. Oh shit, we'll watch it. Sure. If the only way that they can, maintain the narrative is to continue to lie, to hold up the charade, right? So all you can do is you just have to overcome it with overwhelming force, right? Because they'll never engage with anything that you said. Yeah, they just don't do it.
Talking about Frogan getting shit from a ton of conservatives for her wonderful remarks about hoping American military men get PTSD. I was showing it to say it's not my fault that she's getting harassed when this clip of hers going mega viral on Twitter and being called out by the worst people on the internet, right? Look at, these are all conservative shitbags. These are all people that I disagree with and have openly said terrible things about, including Keemstar. So like the way that he singles him out and says, oh, Ethan is co-signing Keemstar,
You realize you're describing Trump and the Republicans as well? Yes, it's the fasci thing. It took me too long to understand this. No, it didn't. I'm 35. Okay, I keep thinking I'm like at the end of my life, and I wish I would have learned things faster. But we're learning. Is it Voltaire? Who's this stupid? Oh, Sartre. Is that how you pronounce this guy's name? It's this quote. Never believe that anti-Semites are completely unaware of the absurdity of their replies. They know that their remarks are frivolous and open to challenge, but they are amusing themselves, for it is their adversary who is obliged to use words responsibly, since he believes in words, right? Never believe that anti-Semites, this can stand for any, like, I'll say illiberal people right now, okay? Because it's commies and Nazis, or commies and fascists that we're fighting now, I guess, right? Between the Hassans and the Trumps, right? Never believe that anti-Semites are completely unaware of the absurdity of their replies. The demonstration to this is me debating, well, one, it's conservatives dodging debates because they know that they're full of shit. And two, it's when I did that debate with the Owen Schroyer, and I was like, oh, you think that Antifa was the first one in the building? You think the cops on it? Let's bet $5,000 on it right now. And then he goes silent because he knows he's totally aware of the absurdity of his replies, right? They know that their remarks are frivolous and open to challenge, but they are amusing themselves, for it is their adversary who is obliged to use words responsibly since he believes in words, right? When they critique Biden or when they critique me for, oh, like you said a racial slur. Meanwhile, his whole chat is like Gusano, murder sites. Oh, What else? Biden said bullseye, right? Or Biden said that meanwhile, you know, Trump and their side, I could shoot somebody on whatever avenue. I can make all these like war and violence references. I can say fight like hell, you're going to lose it, right? They know that you're the one trying to play by a rule book, but they don't have to. But you believe in a word, so you're trying to, right? And this is so perfectly encapsulated with the saying for Trump. We don't take Trump literally. We just take him seriously. Like they don't even care about words. It's all a game at the end of the day. And you have to understand that because you can't play. You're not playing by the same set of rules. You have to understand that. The anti-Semites have the right to play. They even like to play with discourse. For, by giving ridiculous reasons, they discredit the seriousness of their interlocutors, right? Remember when J.D. Vance says, if I've got to make up a story to get your attention on things, like so be it, you know? They delight in acting in bad faith, since they seek not to persuade by sound argument, but to intimidate and disconcert. Right? The weave, right? Trump's not trying to actually make a legitimate. He's just trying to like fucking get around to enough topics and he hits enough emotional points. You're like, oh yeah, fucking A, dude. If you press them too closely, they will abruptly fall silent, loftily indicating by some phrase that the time for argument is past. I don't know what the equivalent to this would be, but oh, J6, 2020, get over it. By the way, BLM was the worst thing that ever happened in this country. Can you link me this Reddit thread? Sure. I don't even know. This is I just Googled this, but this is just a famous quote. It's given a lot, but oh yeah, Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah. Or when Hasan says like, "Oh, little bro needs to log off." You need to log off, dude. Seems like it's having a bad effect on your mental health, right? It's all that, yeah.
A fucking liar, dude. He's a Weaselly little liar.
The person that they're talking about is Yoav Gallant.
Oh, is he about to bring up two quotes from Yoav Gallant?
Yoav Gallant, alongside Benjamin Netanyahu, has an active petition for his arrest by the ICC. The person that...
Wait, did those petitions... A petition for his arrest... Because the prosecutor just asked the ICC to write the warrants. They don't have the actual warrants yet, though, right? So just the petition. I'm surprised he clarified that, but okay.
They are talking about here, before getting fired by Benjamin Netanyahu, the person that they're calling a moderating voice said this, which is the reason why...
Oh, the quote. This is a year-old quote. Is this the October 7th quote? It's just a quote. Why do you live in quotes? Oh, it's because he doesn't know the history, the context, or the people, or the news, or anything, really, yeah.
There is an active petition, an active application for a warrant for his arrest by the ICC.
You know who else had warrants for their arrest? Is it really Ishmael? Ismail? Fuck, I forget his name. But Hania, Mohammed Deif, and... is it Anwar Sinwar? Those three guys had warrants for their arrest as well, I think. Or the petition for warrants for the arrest, all three of them, right? Huh, they're all dead now, though, but... Oh, Yahya. Sorry, not Anwar. Anwar was Sadat's first name. But...
I don't know. I'm legitimately shocked.
The problem why I'm frustrated with this whole situation...
Ethan needs to find a way to... It's not bad to call Hasan out, but you need to have like a better... Or he needs to just, you can't get frustrated like this. Remember, this is the game. Hasan wants you to be mad. He wants, like, this is intentional. It's not by accident. This is by design. The goal is to never show what Ethan says, to always put him in the worst light possible, and then to just, like, invent truth for your audience to consume or invent fact for them to consume so that when they think back to Ethan, they don't actually think back to anything Ethan said, even though they think they are. They're actually thinking back to what Hasan told them he said, even if it's not true.
You guys know me. I'm more than willing, more than happy to address shortcomings and errors that I've made and take every...
See, so like Ethan is already in a losing position, right? Because now he's trying to defend himself from attacks that Hasan knows are bullshit, right? You're locked into this trap. They even like to play with discourse by giving ridiculous reasons. They discredit the seriousness of their interlocutors. No, wait, not this part. That is part of it. But this. They are amusing themselves, for it is their adversary who is obliged to use words responsibly, since he believes in words. This is what's happening, right? Ethan thinks that it's important to represent what he believes truthfully, and what Hasan believes truthfully, and what Yoav Gallant believes truthfully. So he's trying to like work in all of these different worlds. Like, okay, well, what is it? Am I correct to defend him? Like, what's Hasan saying about? Meanwhile, Hasan is just like fake accusation after fake, like fake. He's just saying it's whatever the fuck. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter at the end of the day to him. Yeah.
Every chance I can to learn and grow from them, right? But the problem I have is that there's our subreddit and our community is overridden with these 8-year longtime ultra fans who can no longer, tolerate us, or they can no.
What should Ethan do then? I think it's okay to make just small videos like calling out Hasan, but it has to be a little bit more, I would recommend, from a rhetorical point of view, it just needs to be a bit more formal, but also keep in mind, I don't engage with much of this content, so my perception could be wrong. But when I see streams or I see videos like this, it feels like Ethan watched something and he's like so ass pain that he's like, I need to go live. I need to like make a video about this right now, because he's like in his informal setting and he's talking about it. But maybe that's not. Maybe this is like more normal for him, and my perception there is wrong. But like having a small like 10-minute segment, which is like, hey, Hasan said this is a fucking lie. There's a reason he doesn't watch my shit because he likes to lie about me, and then moving on. Like I think that would be better than these types of things, because unfortunately, he said on today's stream that he did this video in the middle of the night, yeah. Because unfortunately, again, because this is what happens when you deal with a Nazi, when you deal with a fasci, when you deal with a commie, they all do misinformation the same way. You're playing their game, and so they're already kind of winning, right? Hasan can make up 50 million lies an hour while he fucks underage prostitutes, in German brothels, right? There's videos of him going to these brothels, right? Hasan can make up whatever the fuck he wants about Ethan, and he knows that Ethan is gonna go like, okay, fuck, Hasan said this about me, and this information is not correct, and I gotta like he has to do all this shit, and it's Ethan is already playing this game where he's fucked, right?
Ultra fans who can no longer, tolerate us, or they can no longer walk down this path with us as we've thrown our lot in with the Nazis, right? But like these same people, okay, they hold no standards. And
yep.
Hasan can go out there and glaze an international.
You just lied to prove the point? No, Hasan used to visit brothels in fucking Germany. He's got like videos and shit of it. Isn't the age of consent there like fucking 14? Maybe it's higher for brothel girls? I don't know. Ask him how old the chicks were that he was smashing in the fucking brothels in Germany he used to visit and tweet videos from.
Terrorist organization and its leader and glaze up Hasan Nasrallah like he's a fucking great dude.
Hasan Nasrallah was assassinated. Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization that is also a part of the Lebanese parliament.
Do we like them or not?
That part of the Lebanese parliament is such an unbelievably disgusting fucking statement. God. Yes, that is correct. That paramilitary funded by Iran that murders Arabs in Syria and Lebanon is so large now that they've managed to like get some seats in the Lebanon. But the way that he's trying to present it is like, oh yeah, part of Lebanon's government. Oh, he's so gross.
No.
I think as a resistance group, they're pretty successful against Israel. They are a terrorist organization. Like they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Well, like
I like what you like.
I don't have an issue with them.
We need to start calling it his fake voice. I mean, if you want to know how Hasan sounds in real life, you can go and find him when we used to talk on my stream. What the fuck was the name of that Reddit thread that everybody calls my N-word manifesto? That has nothing to do with the N-word. $13 years ago, Jesus. Good one.
The reason why Destiny's fucking targeting Cole is because he's the weak link there, and he's already emotional about the subject, and if you're emotional about a subject, which is understandable for him to be emotional on, you've already lost the battle in the eyes of like all of these fucking out of touch, nihilistic internet debate edgelords, okay? That's the reality. It is what it is. So
that's what he sounds like when he doesn't have his 50 dB pad for his his 80 hertz voice bass boost on his on his current interface. But anyway,
just say
or would he's trying to talk like this in the LA swag voice.
I'm going to give you guys a crash course on Hezbollah. Let's start back from the beginning. 1983 suicide truck bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Beirut. 45 embassy staff were killed, 34 injured. They bombed a French Marine barracks in Beirut, 300 dead. Attempted murder of the head of the Turkish Jewish community. Suicide bombing of the Argentine Jewish Mutual Association building in Buenos Aires, 85 killed, 300 injured.
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say.
Bombing of a restaurant near the U.S. Air Force Base in Spain, 18 killed, 83 injured. Car bombs of the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, 11 killed, 58 injured. Hijacking of Kuwait airline planes, killed 4. Suicide bombing at the Israeli Embassy in Buenos Aires, 29 killed, 240 injured.
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say.
Suspected of carrying out suicide bombing missions against...
Wait, fuck, sorry. Because I'm trying to do DMs at the same time. Did Ethan say this, the calling team of this? These are, I believe these are Amnesty International reports. That's what all these are. So this isn't like a, these aren't like right-wing crazy reports that are being released. These are like...
4. Suicide bombing at the Israeli Embassy in Buenos Aires, 29 killed, 240 injured.
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say.
Suspected of carrying out suicide bombing missions against Israeli vacationers in Bulgaria. Indicted for the assassination of former Lebanese Prime Minister Rafik al-Hariri.
I don't have an issue with them.
Hezbollah participated in the Syrian civil war on the side of Assad, violent dictator. They're responsible for the genocide of well over 500,000 Syrians. Here's an article from Amnesty International. Syria, surrender or starve, strategy displacing thousands, amounts to crimes against humanity. Does that sound familiar?
I don't have an issue with them.
While the Syrian government's stated aim has been to vanquish opposition fighters, its cynical use of surrender or starve tactics has involved a devastating combination of sieges and bombardments.
I don't have an issue with them.
These have been part of a systematic as well as widespread attack on civilians that amounts to crimes against humanity. Sounds like what Israel's doing in Gaza.
I don't have an issue with them.
Relentless attacks on civilians, in addition to immense suffering caused by siege tactics, deliberate attacks on civilians and civilian objects cause unimaginable misery. The government and Hezbollah forces burned the agricultural fields just as a form of punishment, even though we couldn't access them.
I don't have an issue with them.
Once again, sounds like what Israel's doing in Gaza. As of May 21, a minimum of 580,000 people is estimated to have been killed, with 13 million Syrians being displaced and 7 million refugees forced to flee Syria.
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say.
Here's some quotes from Hezbollah leaders, including Nasrallah. Our struggle will end only when this entity,
Nasrallah?
if Israel is obliterated. We recognize no treaty with it, no ceasefire, and no peace agreement.
Nice.
According to Shal-Shai,
that dude's dead, by the way.
Nasrallah said in a speech delivered in Beirut, "What do the Jews want? They want security and money. Throughout history, the Jews have been Allah's most cowardly and avaricious creatures. If you look all over the world, you will find no one more miserably and greedily than they are."
I don't have an issue with them.
If we search the entire world for a person more cowardly, despicable, weak, and feeble in psyche, mind, and ideology and religion, we would not find anyone like the Jew. Notice, I do not say the Israeli.
I don't have an issue with them.
Badi Kainban, in his 23 October 2002 article, quoted Nasrallah as saying, "If Jews all gather in Israel..."
Is it fair to say that Hasan is audience captured, or is there something more insidious going on with his worldview / takes on politics? No, he's ideologically driven. He's not just audience captured. He's ideologically driven as well. If Hasan was just audience captured, he would have moderated a bit for Ethan to hold on to that relationship, but he didn't. He torched it.
It will save us the trouble of going after them worldwide. The history of Jews has proven that, regardless of the Zion...
Oh, is that a Dune quote? Quote from the author of Slow Blade Penetrates the Shield. Quote, "When I am weaker than you, I ask you for freedom because that is according to your principles. When I am stronger than you, I take away your freedom because that is according to my principles." Wow, deep. That is a very slow blade. It's penetrating a lot.
the trouble of going after them worldwide. The history of Jews has proven that, regardless of the Zionist proposal, they are a people who are evil in their ideas. The state of the grandsons of apes and pigs, the Zionist Jews, and he condemns them as the murderers of the prophet. According to Hasan Nasrallah, he said the Jews invented the legend of the Nazi atrocities.
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say.
So my point is, if you're going to come down so hard on Ela for what she said, where's the energy when Hasan defends Hezbollah and Hasan Nasrallah, who is a violent, genocidal, anti-Semite who mass murdered Syrians?
Isn't Ethan doing the same thing you were attacking Hasan on earlier? Obviously, these are not the reasons why Hasan likes them. Not that there are any good reasons. No, these are the reasons why Hasan likes them. Don't make no mistake. People in Hasan's community, people online on Twitter that are anti-Israel, these guys celebrate when they find out that more hostages were killed, when they find out that there was some failed Israeli operation, when they find that there was, like, they celebrate this stuff. They like it. It's good. And they enjoy it. It's happy for them. It's good news. Unironically. I mean that sincerely. They do support these types of things. If they didn't, it would be super easy. It would be really easy to find out. You would just know. You know this, though. I shouldn't have answered your question because your question was bullshit. You know this. It's a bullshit question, like when people come up to me and they're like, okay, Destiny, you get mad when Nick Fuentes makes racist jokes, but like, don't you kind of make racist jokes sometimes too? And it's like, you know the difference, though. Nobody thinks I'm racist, right? Nobody thinks I'm sexist. If you watch any of my shit for any perspective, nobody thinks this. Everybody knows the other guy is. It's different. You know it's different, though. You feel that. You know it. You feel it. Intuitively, you know these things to be true. So like the question itself, it's a ridiculous question. Usually.
And committed terrorism all around the world. Where's all the 8-year subscribers flooding into his community saying they can't follow him in these footsteps anymore?
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen.
Also, look, he has so many opportunities and chances to clarify his position or to qualify it more or to caveat more, and he doesn't.
Listen. You have to remember something, okay? A lot of these dudes, you see them in their fucking fits, and you hear about, like, some of their attitudes about, like, gay people, for example, and you immediately fucking resort to Orientalist perspectives, not realizing that these motherfuckers are better read than you by a million.
What is that? What? Do you think that well-read people can't be homophobic or hateful? Like,
okay. Like, it's not a broken clock situation. No, dude. Half of these dudes literally get educated in America and in the UK. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
You mean the Soviet Union and Russia and Eastern Europe, right? Depends, but I mean, it depends on what we're talking about, but or who we're talking about, I guess.
This is why it's Orientalist to literally look at these dudes and go, oh, no, they're fucking barbaric baboons. And, like, sometimes they get this shit right. No, dude, he knows. It's crazy.
I don't know where this Orientalist thing, why he's... Wait, hold on, let me boost this. Hold on. I don't know where this, like, comes from. A long time ago, they used to refer to, at least in, like, a lot of the history books I've read and everything, you used to refer to the Middle East as the Near East, like around the Ottoman Empire time, and immediately after you called it the Near East. And they might have called it part of the Orient, maybe? But I know Near East was a term, so I don't know if this came from... Oh, Edward Said is a guy that says... Okay, I don't read that dude. Fuck that guy. I don't even know if he's a real historian. I think he's like a weird... But that's a different subject, but okay. Yeah.
He's read more books than you could ever imagine. And also, ultimately, he is regarded as a pretty brilliant person.
Oh, the Oriental Express was through the Ottoman Empire. Oh, well, there you go. This is his way of dismissing any criticisms as racism. Yeah, it's funny, too, because this guy pushes against IDPOL so much, identity politics, whenever it's like tanky shit he wants to talk about. But he uses so much identity politics whenever you're criticizing him or his... Oh, it's because I'm Turkish. Oh, it's because I'm brown. Oh, it's because I'm Middle Eastern. Oh, it's because it's Orientalism. Oh, it's because they're... Like, he'll never, ever, ever engage substantively. He never engages substantively with anything. Yeah. Said is a big deal in academic circles. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Pretty sure he does philosophy. I don't know if he's a serious historian or not. And when it comes to history and shit, I have to read the people before I give them any credit. So I don't give a fuck. That one fucking loser was a big deal in historical circles before that trial. David Irving was. I don't care. I need to read their shit. Or I need to know a historian that I trust that signs off on their shit. So I don't give a fuck.
In terms of like everything that he's done, you might not agree with his methods. You might not agree with his attitude overall in terms of like, his social, his opinions on civil liberties and shit like that. But ultimately, this motherfucker has read a shit ton of books.
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say.
Nice.